With BMTV, the future's bright and strong.
Welcome once again to another interesting program on BMTV in Nsukka. Today we are going to be talking about empowering the youth in agriculture. When you talk about empowerment, it has to do with giving someone the authority to become him or herself, to actualize the potentials that person is built with. Now we want to know why youth should be empowered in agriculture. And because of this important topic, we have a very important guest in our midst, who is by name Dr. Emmanuel Omeje. Dr. Emmanuel Omeje is a lecturer in University of Nigeria, Nsukka, UNN. He is under the Faculty of Agriculture. So you might be wondering why he's here. It is because this is his field. Now, we would really like you to stay tuned, watch till the end. For this program is going to be very interesting. Doctor, you are very welcome to BMTV.
Welcome, Doc.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me around.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, sir. Okay, so when we talk about empowering youth in agriculture, what role do you think agriculture plays in Nigeria economy? Why are we discussing agriculture?
Well, there are so many roles agriculture play in Nigeria's economy, and principal amongst them is creation of job.
Okay.
Apart from that, provision of food for the people, and then raw materials for industries.
Okay.
And whether you like it or not, there are various industries out there that rely on agricultural products. Okay. So these are the three basic things that agriculture provides for the economy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, when you talk about industries, agriculturally based industries, are there a few ones that you can mention?
Well, there are uncountable number of industries in agriculture. Okay. However, you need to first of all understand that agriculture is very vast, very, very vast. Agriculture is like how do I describe it? It's like an elephant. Somebody touching the leg will tell you that is an electric pole. Okay. Somebody that touched the ear will tell you that agriculture is like a TV dish. Okay. So, but let me try to tell you that agriculture is a combination of so many activities or segments. Start from supply of inputs to those who are into production, from production to those who are into processing. Yes. And then after processing, there are other set of people that are into marketing. Yes. And other services that must be in place for agriculture to thrive. Okay. So when you talk about agriculture, we are talking about so many things. Except what you mean by agriculture in this perspective is those who are into production.
No, agriculture
in general.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, you see, agriculture in general is not something we can finish in a day.
Yeah. Okay.
That's just the truth.
Okay, Doc. So let's go ahead. Now we are talking about empowering the youth. Okay. Why the youth? Why are we not talking about the older ones? So why is it important that we empower the youth in agriculture?
Well, let me try to be funny a bit. Okay. When you say the youth, I don't really know what you mean by youth, but in Nigerian context, I've seen somebody who is 50 years, but is the youth leader or in his community. So I've seen somebody who is 60 years, but is a youth leader. So when you say youth,
I think
do you mean
youth from 40 down. 40,
okay.
30, 20.
Okay, now that we have the definition of youth, now you know the Nigeria we have today is facing a lot of challenges. Yes. And one of the biggest challenges is job for the youth. Yes. And it is known that in developing countries, agriculture provides close to 70% of jobs, especially in the rural area. So, and as we speak today, there are hundreds of thousands of our youth out there that are graduates in different fields, but they don't have jobs to do. So I think talking about youth and agriculture at this point in time is just the best, because where do you want them to fall into? Is it in the oil and gas that is hijacked by the cabals? Where is it politics that even those that are 90 years have refused to step aside? So where it is just only agriculture that can accommodate the youth. So I think it is just the best time to talk about it.
All right. Okay, Doc.
Okay. Thank you, Doc. Please, what role can technology help in empowering youths in agriculture?
Well, there is this problem of our people being so attached with what they knew or what their forefathers did.
Yes.
And even no matter how you try to introduce innovations to some of the youths who are into agriculture, they still prefer to continue with that one which their forefathers did.
Okay.
You understand? But setting that aside, you also need to understand that technology is just like, in short, agriculture is just like every other science. It keeps evolving on daily basis, and agriculture is not exception. So what happens is that it's not the same agriculture you knew 10 years ago that is invoked today. Today, somebody, a poultry farmer, uses his Android phone with AI
Yes.
to check whatever diseases that are in the farm, and then get recommendations as solutions to the problem without reaching out to an extension officer. Somebody who is into Onsoka yellow pepper uses his Android phone to query the outbreak of disease in the farm, communicate with the app. The app tells you what pest that is eating up your crop, and then the best chemical that will take it off. So things have moved on from what we used to know to something that is now being empowered by technologies, Internet of a Thing, and AI.
Okay.
That's where we are today.
Okay.
All right, Doc. Good evening once again.
Welcome.
How do we address the challenges that the youths are facing in agriculture, especially in terms of land and finance and markets? So how do I address those challenges?
Well, the truth is that the youths are facing those challenges you have mentioned, because there is what we call social inclusion. The youths are socially not as inclusive as our fathers in terms of ownership of land, because you don't own. It's very hard for you to inherit a land when your father is still there,
Right.
and you cannot even say let your father die so that you inherit his land. So if you talk about land ownership, the youths are also disadvantaged, just like the women.
Yeah.
Yes, and I can also tell you that in terms of funding, the youths are also not at advantage with funding, because it's the same youth that have just left school. Where do you want them to get the funding? Except getting loan from the banks, or maybe loaning from friends, and maybe where some of the youths are organized, they can form cooperatives, look for grants, or contribute some kind of equity by themselves, and they start small and begin to expand. So I agree with you. All these challenges are facing the youth. But you see, after talking about the challenges, you must also talk about the solutions.
Yeah.
Now, I can also tell you that the problems are being multiplied on daily basis. Yes, before now, youths go to some of these rural areas or farm settlements to maybe lease land, go into farming and what have you. But those places now are being occupied by the herdsmen terrorists. And today, everybody is scared. Nobody wants to risk his life going into the reserves to go and engage into farming.
Yeah.
So the problem is being multiplied, just like I said earlier. And the little land that is left within the peri-urban and the urban places are not enough for agriculture to thrive, especially for the youth. So as we speak today, the issue of land is a big problem. But notwithstanding, those who are still very much keen are into it. Where you have problems, some people persist, and they are the ones who, let me say, they are the ones occupying the little space we have now.
Yeah.
So, and you also talk about funding. How do we solve the problem of funding?
Yes.
You see, there are, let me say, organizations that can give you grants. And then I can also tell you that there are banks that can give you loan. But the loans and their conditions are not always attractive for people who are starting up, especially in agriculture where the risks are very vast. So it's a big problem that begs for government to intervene. Government is one institution that I think that can come in to see how these things can be solved. And I also learned recently that the Enugu State government is planning. I've not seen the working document, but I learned they are planning to have some smart farming cities. I don't know what the terms they call it. So, but I think that will help, because if that is implemented and you have a cluster of land in one particular place, of course, if people come and get access to the land and you see cluster of farmers, automatically by clustering in one place, they have provided security for themselves.
Yeah, that's true.
So that will solve the problem of insecurity in that very cluster, and that will also make the land available. And if they can go extra mile to provide funding for those who will benefit from the program, I think this will help.
Okay, Doc, please, how can agricultural education and training programs help to engage and empower youth in agriculture?
Yeah, agriculture is like, let me put it in this way. Agriculture is very vast, like I said earlier.
Yeah, exactly.
You can decide to divide agriculture into two: subsistence farming and then commercial farming.
Yeah.
Good. For those who are into commercial farming, the difference between a commercial farmer and then the other farmer who farms for him to eat,
Yes.
is that the commercial farmer sees farming as a business.
Okay.
So, is there any business that the business owner or the entrepreneur will not like to improve himself with the training? So you can see that agriculture as a business is not an exception to that. So anybody that wants to make more profit in agriculture must embrace training.
Okay.
Like myself, I have a PhD in agricultural economics. I've been to Songhai International for training in agriculture, and I can still tell you that even last week I still went for another training. So I keep trying to update myself with whatever that is in vogue. Okay.
Yeah.
So every youth that has interest in farming, even if you are already in the sector, you need to keep receiving training. You need to keep expanding your knowledge. And for those that want to come in, they must. It's a matter of is a must. You have to receive some basic training, and then go into the business. Otherwise, you will run into crisis. Many people have tried it, thinking that agriculture is just something you run into and begin to make millions. There is money in agriculture, I no doubt about that, but you need some basic training as a starter. That's just the truth.
Okay. I wanted to ask, like, you know, normally people see agriculture, especially when it has to do with farming, crop farming.
Yeah.
People see it as a traditional way of income, like all this traditional profession. It's not something that youth normally like to indulge in. They feel
Okay.
like these. I grew up to meet my parents farming now.
Okay.
That kind of thing. Now you have explained that any person who wants to be a commercial farmer has to undergo training.
Yeah.
And I think it has answered the question that if actually you want to make money, because we are talking about economic empowerment here.
Yeah.
If actually you want to make money, you need trainings, and that trainings are what will actually make them to, forget about that mindset of is a traditional way of
Yes.
making money. Yeah. Okay. So, Doc, moving on. What do you think as it stands now? Because you've said that government is the solution. Now, how do we now make government to actually provide those things that are needed? Because you mentioned banks and the loans and all the things that are involved in getting loans from bank. That means there is no other solution as it stands apart from government coming to the help of youth.
No, let me put it in the right perspective. Government is one of the solutions.
Okay.
There are people who are into farming. There are youths who are into farming, and they can tell you it was not government that sponsored them.
Yes.
I would
It
like
was
to
not
hear
government that
their
gave them
stories.
training. It was not government that gave them funding.
Okay.
You understand? So, but for a good number of youths to come in and excel in this sector, I was profiling a solution that government has to come in.
Okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
that's my stand on
Okay.
that.
In a situation where government does not come in immediately as it stands, what do you advise the youth?
I advise the youth to start small.
Okay.
Even if you don't have the whole money, we know that agriculture is capital intensive. I can also tell you that I helped somebody, a youth, to set up a pig farm last month.
Wow.
And the person has a target to stock 300 piglets. So far he has stocked 100. And let me just give you analysis of that 100. If you stock 100 piglets, in 10 months or at maximum 12 months, you will sell each of them at least 300,000 naira.
Wow.
So if you multiply it by 100, that is 30 million. And within that period, it will consume feed of about at most 5 million naira. So in 10 months, that person has made close to 25 million.
Yes, yes.
You understand?
Yes.
But it takes money for you to start that kind of big
Business.
You understand?
Yes.
But then I also know about somebody who started with 5. Today he has more than 100 pigs in his farm.
Wow.
So one of the biggest encouragements I can give the youth is to start small. Whether the government is coming or not, start small. You will definitely grow and get to that point. You understand?
All right, Doc. You said something like so many people coming in and going out because it's not what they expected they are getting.
Yes.
And in that case, for our viewers out there and for some interested youths that might have the interest of agriculture at heart,
Yeah.
can you share a bit success story of some youths you know that you can proudly say that these people started like this or they are like this and they are into it and they are making it? That will serve as an encouragement to our viewers.
Well, yes, I know of somebody who started with just 2 pigs or 2 piglets, and that person was an undergraduate, my student. When he graduated, he enrolled for his MSc. When he finished his MSc, he enrolled for his PhD, and he did all this from that small farm. He has kids and he's doing well from the same farm.
Wow.
So you see, there are a lot of success stories out there about people who started small and eventually grew to an unimaginable size.
Yeah.
You understand? There are so many of them.
Okay.
Doc, please, what are some innovative ways to provide access to resources such as land and credit to young farmers?
Well, one of the ways that is very credible is forming cooperatives.
Okay.
Yes, youths of like mind. Let me tell you what the power of cooperative in farming, what cooperative can do in farming, especially among youths that are starting newly.
Status.
Yeah. If they form, assuming 10 persons want to come into a cooperative and go into layers or piggery or whatever venture or even Nsuka pepper. These 10 persons, which one do you want us to use as example now?
Nsuka pepper.
Okay, let's talk about Nsuka pepper.
Yes.
If 10 youths come together and say, let us go into dry season Nsuka pepper farming,
Okay.
they go to Ledger. Ledger is known for production of Nsuka yellow pepper, right?
Yes.
Now they go to a place, secure a very large expanse of land that will be enough for 10 persons.
Yes.
Now these 10 persons, maybe there are just only 2 persons that are expert in that field, in that pepper production.
Okay.
The other 8 may not be experts. Okay? What they will do is that once they form that cooperative and contribute a certain amount of money and go into large scale production, you discover that those who do not know much about yellow pepper production, the processes and what have you, because they are now into a cooperative. A cooperative is like where you pool resources together. And the resources is not just about the funding. Resources includes even the skill provided by that few persons who know best on how to produce that. And because they are all stakeholders in it, you cannot say because others don't know about it and you know, for you to keep quiet and allow the pepper to dry up when you know what to do. And the moment you are providing that solution, the other 8 who don't know anything about it are learning from you. You understand?
Yes.
So the cooperative helps to do a lot of things that will make farming very easy. If the cooperative, assuming you buy, if you stand alone and you buy only 2 bags of fertilizer for your portion at the rate of 50,000 naira, so you spend 100,000 to buy 2 bags. If you come together as a cooperative and contribute the same amount of money, we go and buy in bulk. That fertilizer the landing cost might get here at the rate of 35,000 naira. In other words, you have saved another 30,000 naira per head. So there are a lot of things that cooperative can solve.
Okay.
You understand? Especially that knowledge spillover. For those who have not been into it, they can learn from those experts within that circle.
Okay.
Okay? And most importantly, because they are in a cooperative, it is very easy for a cooperative to get loan from banks
Okay.
than individual going to access loan. Very easy for cooperative.
Please, for the young farmers that want to engage in farming
Okay.
that lacks capital to start up,
Okay.
is there any farming that you can tell them that is very cheap, as in that they can start off with, that can yield money
No,
for them
involve a
not
lot
to be
of-
jobless? Is there any
Well.
farming at all
Like
that can
crop
help
farming,
youths?
like the particular
Well.
Maybe rearing of animal or crop farming, any of them?
You see, the truth is that what works for Mr. A might not work for Mr. B,
That's it.
but we can copy from some success stories around us, you know, and then for people to look at it and see if it can work work for them. And one amongst them is pig farming. The advantage of pig farming for somebody who do not have much capital is that the pig can stay anywhere, no matter how bad the housing is. The pig, the moment you just create, even if you have a place you are not using, just open more places for ventilation to come in.
What of a house without a roof?
No, at
No,
least
it's
you
not
need to
good.
provide a roof, no matter how
Because
bad
of
the
rainy
roof is.
season.
Okay, provide a roof. So you can start with that, and you can see that because pig eats anything they see.
Okay.
You can get leaf from your backyard, banana leaf, even the trunk of plantain. When you have cut the fruit, the trunk is feed. Anything leftover food is feed for pig. So pig is something you can when you don't have money to buy the feed, even for 1 week, you can continue to sustain them and they will be doing well without the normal feed. You see, that's where the pig has advantage over some other livestock like poultry,
Yes.
where you must have to give it conventional feed or the feed you compounded by yourself. And for you to compound the feed, you need money to buy maize, you need money to buy other raw materials to form it. So pig has advantage over the rest of the livestock.
Okay, Doc, just give words of encouragement to our viewers who have actually, maybe they ventured into agriculture some times ago, and at the point maybe they lost capital or something happened and they gave up. So what are words of encouragement that you give them and say, please, you can go back to what you started, there is still time for you to become bigger?
Even those that have not.
And even those that have not ventured into it before. Yes.
Okay, the truth is that you see, I'm not just encouraging them just for the fun of it. I have been encouraging people, and I try as much as possible to tell them the honest thing in it. Agriculture is like a saving line for everybody who has nothing to do.
Okay.
And even those who have money, I encourage them to come into it. The sector is so vast that it can accommodate everybody. And there are people, some persons who have come into it, they rushed in and rushed out because they didn't get the basic knowledge they needed before they come into it. You know, just like any other business. If you have never been into cement business now, if you go into that place, even and the stock the highest number of bags in the market, they know how to run you down because you are not into the system. Yes. The same people will come and be collecting bags of cement on credit, and within a month you're out of cement and your money will hang and you're out of business. Yes. So it's just like that in every other sector. If you want to come in, at least get basic knowledge. Basic skill, get an expert, or in addition to that, with a chicken money, you get your business plan. That business plan will help you to know. Business plan is just like having a roadmap. It will be guiding you to your destination. And at some point, if the indices you're seeing are not what you have in that roadmap, you can now pause to ask, why are things not this way? Assuming you have a business plan for 100 pigs, and in the business plan it was stipulated that the expected mortality rate is 5%, which is 5% of 100, which is 5, and along the line you lose more than 5 pigs. You know that this is already outside, this has gone beyond the provisions made, and you begin to ask questions. You know that actually you have a problem. So that's one that you must be guided, okay, until you know how to stand on your feet. Then another thing is that for those who have the money to come into it big time, that's what we call National Agriculture Insurance Corporation. It's an insurance company owned by the federal government that you pay a certain amount of money to cover the livestock you have in your farm, okay, so that in the event of loss, the company will come and pay you for all the loss you have, all the damages, whether it's fire outbreak, disease outbreak, or whatever. You understand? Yes. So there is a setting to take care of the risk inherent in the sector. Only that many people are not taking advantage of these provisions.
For those who came in big.
Yes.
Because it requires money.
And for those who want to come in that maybe in small scale, I also encourage them to come in. Just ask questions. Some of us, we even by 1 a.m. if you call me, I will always answer, and I give you free consultation services on phone.
Okay.
You know, and there are many other people out there who have been giving these services to young youth. You know, so but try as much, even if you are coming in small, try as much as possible to ask questions around. Get somebody you can always run to give you advice on, or when you are getting it right or wrong. And then you see yourself moving. You see, these things are not rocket science. You understand? It's just what we learned even from primary school. Yeah, you can. It's something you apply your day-to-day knowledge into it, and then you see it working. It's just like what we know about the bees, for instance. If the bees want to mate, the queen or the mother flies so high in the sky, trying to make sure that the weaker males cannot have access for the mating period. And what in their ingenuity, what they want to do is to make sure that they don't reproduce weaker bees. Do you understand? Yes. So it's the same thing that you copy from this. When you want to mate your pigs, so if you look at the pigs and see that there are those ones that have some features that are not desirable, you set them aside for grow and sell. Okay, then you don't bring them back into reproduction process, because they will give you what looks like them or something that is even worse than what you're seeing.
Okay.
So that's just the way it works.
What our viewers, I believe that you really enjoyed this program just like I did, and I learned a lot. Now, Dr. Omeje here is very capable, and he has said you can always reach out to him for inquiries and trainings and whatever you want to know about farming, especially pig farming, because if you have listened, you will know that he has been very, very specific about pig farming. Now, Dr. Omeje here is a consultant in agriculture, pig farming. Yes, if you want to know more about pig farming and all the other animal farming, please, you can always reach out to him on this phone number he's going to call out now. Yeah,
08038090907.
All right.
Or you can always ask of me in the Faculty of Agriculture, University of Nigeria, Nsukka.
Okay, we are still going to put up the phone number on this particular video. Thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate. Make sure you always like and share our videos on Facebook and on YouTube. Please make sure you also follow us if you have not followed us, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Bye-bye.
To our old songs with BMTV, the future's bright and strong.